All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. I am the Pip Messiah, your host for the Quiet Storm Live trading session for July the 28th, 2025. We do have some pre-market action, so we're going to get straight to it. All right, so we didn't have any take profits that hit leading into the session tonight. Let's get straight into the trades. We have the Australian dollar versus the Canadian dollar. This was called as a buy at 7:15 in the morning on Friday. That did smack take profit. We have the Swiss franc versus the Japanese yen, which was called at 2:15 in the morning. This was during the live on Friday. That also hit take profit. We have the United States dollar versus the Chinese yuan. This is an exotic currency. It's called at 10 a.m. on Friday. That hit stop loss. We did not call this particular trade. We have IOST USTD. We have aqua gray blue, which is an uptrend. We will be taking this particular trade. This is going to be a buy to 0.004357. It's going to be a long position from current price. Go ahead and grab the parameters for this. This is a cryptocurrency perpetual trade. You will find this particular pair on liquid brokers. Again, as a reminder, if you're looking for the brokers that we do use, if you click on the description to this video and scroll down, you'll see the links to both liquid brokers and LHFX if you don't currently have access to these pairs. And IOST, USTD, 15-minute confirmation, market execution buy. The risk and reward ratio is 3.50. The take profit is 0.004357. It's going to be for 161 pips. Stop loss is going to be 0.004150. It's going to be for 46 pips. And the entry price is going to be 0.004196. And here's going to be first call of the night. OST USDT, 15-minute confirmation, a market execution buy. Entry price is 0.004196. Stop loss is going to be 0.004150 for 46 pips. Take profit is 0.004357 461 pips, and a risk to reward ratio of 3.50. Moving on, we have GLM USDT. This is also aqua gray blue. That is an uptrend. Going to be taking this particular trade on a buy to 0.03246. And it's going to be a long from current price. I'll go ahead and shorten up that stop just a little bit. Again, this is going to be another crypto perpetual trade. You will find this pair on liquid brokers. And this is GLM USDT, GLM versus Tether. 15-minute confirmation, market execution buy with a risk reward ratio of 3.00. Take profit is 0.3246. It's going to be for 252 pips. Stop loss is 0.2910. That's for 84 pips. And entry price is 0.2994. And here's your next call of the night. GLM USDT. 15-minute confirmation, market execution buy. Entry price is 0.2994. Stop loss is 0.2910 for 84 pips. Take profit is 0.3246 for 252 pips, and a risk to reward ratio of 3.00. Also, for the first time tonight, I want to welcome our audience on both Instagram, YouTube, and Huya to the stream. This is our first stream for multicats. We will be adding more networks as we go along, but these are the first three so far. Moving on, we have BCH USDT. This is also aqua gray blue. It's going to be a buy to 637 even. It's going to be a long from current price. We're going to need the length in that stop loss. And BCH, which is Bitcoin Cash, is a cryptocurrency perpetual trade. You will find this particular pair on liquid brokers. BCH USDT, 15-minute confirmation, market execution buy. The risk reward ratio is 3.74. Take profit is 637.00. That's going to be for 467 pips. Stop loss is 577.8. That's going to be 425 pips. Entry price is $590.3. here's your next call of the night. BCH USDT, 15-minute confirmation, a market execution buy. Entry price is 590.30. Stop loss is 577.80 for 125 pips. Take profit is 637.00 for 467 pips. And a risk to reward ratio of 3.74. And we have a buy called on the Euro 50. This is an indice. It's called at 4:15 in the morning, just after the live yesterday, well, on Friday. And that hit take profit. And we have a recall of BCH USDT. So that's it for us for right now. Let's go ahead and get our list cleaned up here. We'll turn to Bitcoin for the moment just to kind of see where the market actually is. Does look like we have a nice little dive on Bitcoin from a high of 119,701.07 down to 119, down just below 119,000. See. So we are in an uptrend on the 15-minute, but currently these sellers have control of the pair. Let's go over the time frame and see what else we can see here. On the 4-hour, we're in an uptrend with the buyers in control of the market. On the daily, we are in an uptrend with the buyers in control of the market. So looks like we've been in a period of consolidation for several days. This may be a day where cryptocurrency just kind of gets hits for today. Let's log into the technicals and see what we can see here. Short squeeze and come in market set trap to go above 123,000. So last week we had two very large moves in Bitcoin. The previous record for the move of Bitcoin was 3,700 Bitcoin. On Tuesday, we had a Bitcoin whale who opened their wallet that had not been active since 2011 and sold 80,000 Bitcoin, about 8.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. And then on Thursday, we had yet another company that sold 17,123 Bitcoin and added another 3,600 and change to it for a total of 12,800 Bitcoin. And that led to a sell-off of Bitcoin going into Friday. And then over the weekend, it spiked. So I think right now we're getting retracement of price back to this point where we were a few days ago. And what we would be looking for is a break of the low of the Asian market, which just happens to line up to where it was on Friday, below 118,900. If it does that, we'll get free fall back to the same area we marked off a week ago on Monday to about 117,900. So we're looking at about another 1,200 point drop from here. I'm looking at the news clippings and I don't see anything else that's going to be a little weird for us. All right, strong buy on the daily, 4 hour. All right, so it looks like we've got short-term weakness in Bitcoin, long-term trend. We should take the rest of the market along with it. Let's take a look at the other majors. Let's start with Ethereum. Looks like about an hour ago, sharpening bought $295 million in Ethereum, literally more than the entire supply of Ethereum issued last month, which should be bullish for Ethereum for the week. So all the pairs that are associated with the Ethereum network may be making a run this week. Let's go to Ripple. So the 15-minute, we have a cross of the 800 EMA and the 50 EMA. That's the edge of the market. It is unlikely the price is going to keep this level. Probably going to fall below the Asian range, which is at 3.1891. So we should see a retreat of XRP, probably Monero, and Stellar Lumens as well sometime during the day. Let's go with Cardano. Same pattern that we see on Ripple. And let's go to Solana. Same pattern that we see on Ripple, but less severe. If I were to venture to guess, I would say we're probably going to have a sell-off today. A lot of these cryptocurrencies have been above the Asian range that normally sets the high for the day leading into Monday. And now that we have liquidity hitting the market, prices are probably going to fall over time. We're looking at that. Let's go ahead and take a look at news. No major news for the day. Pretty light. Checking major news items for the week. It is non-farm payroll week, which is a major reporting week for the US dollar. A good chunk of major news on Tuesday, but it looks like Wednesday and Thursday are going to be big kahunas, with Wednesday leading the way. We do have the release of the federal funds rate for the US dollar from the Federal Reserve on Wednesday, July the 30th at 1 p.m. That's right after the lunch hour for the New York Stock Exchange. It is forecasted that the Federal Reserve will not change interest rates. It's probably already been priced into the US dollar pairs. But once the news is official, provided that nothing changes, I do expect that to, at least in the short term, strengthen the US dollar, which is going to weaken Tether, which should send crypto perpetuals rallying for the day. We also get a policy rate decision by the Bank of Japan later that night. They are also expected not to change. At 8:45 in the morning, this is an hour and 15 minutes past the opening bell. We also get a rate decision on the Royal Bank of Canada. And then on Friday, August the 1st, we get our first reporting of the real unemployment rate for the month of July. It's expected it's going to increase to 4.2%. If you're in the job market, it probably feels a hell of a lot higher than that. I think that's going to come in hot, which should make Friday unusually volatile. We may end up staying out of the market for the most part on Friday unless we see something very compelling. Let's take a look at futures. And we've got positive futures on the US 30, which is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ 100. and gold. At least for the US 30, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ 100, what we'll be looking for is a retracement of price to a sell-off with opportunities to get into the market on a buy on all three of these indices. We'd have to dig into gold to see what's really going on there. For Europe, we have positive action on the France 40, the UK 100, and the German 30. We're looking for the same action that we're going to see on the American markets. And for Asia, we actually have negative action, a good chunk of it, on the Japanese Nikkei 225. We'd be looking for a buy opportunity there. We have positive futures on all the majors for cryptocurrency. So we'd be looking for a retracement of price and possible entries to the buy side on cryptocurrency. And with that, we're going to fall into a 15-minute pacing of calls. Buy or sell. It's now 2:19. The next opportunity for us to enter the market will be around 2:30 in the morning. That's a little over 10 minutes from now. So it's a good opportunity for you to stretch your legs, grab something to drink, grab a snack, do what you need to do. Come on back and join us for 2:30 in the morning. What's going to happen is every 15 minutes or so, TradingView is going to go through all of the assets that we do call for trade and try and determine whether or not we have a trade opportunity. We'll drill into those trade opportunities and determine whether or not we're going to enter the market on a buy or sell basis. We have a total of 328 assets that we do trade across multiple markets, with our brokers being Liquid Brokers, LHFX, and Top Step X. So that's what we stand for right now. Check an update here. Looks like we've had some retracement on Forex pairs, which is fine. We do have a short-term rally on the US 30. We did call out a trade on that last week. Good shot of possibly hitting take profit. We have further movement on the France 40. We've been in this trade for quite some time. About 75% of the way to take profit. Still hasn't hit yet. And as you can see, we have a crap ton of trades open in the futures market. It's going to be a slow movement day today because there's no major news. I don't think we're going to get any take profit on those today, with the exception of the ones that are associated with markets. So for now, we'll keep taking a look at the France 40. It seems to be the one that's closest to profit. And a little bit more waiting we have to go. A little under 8 minutes to go to 2:30 in the morning, that half of the hour. If you do happen to have any questions, feel free to go ahead and drop those in the chat, and I'll get those answered as soon as I can. goes. Quick update of where we are for the week ending August the 1st, 2025. Currently at 662 wins versus 573 losses. A win percentage of 53.60%. Total pips won 1,960,426 and counting. That is since May the 2nd of this year. Five minutes left to go to the half of the hour. 5 minutes. I'm taking a look at Bitcoin versus Tether on the 15-minute. Looks like we have a pretty massive block of resistance above current price, which makes it highly likely price is going to keep rejecting and then turn south for the next candle. Now, as how far that goes, I don't know. But I do think it's likely that we fall out of consolidation for Bitcoin versus Tether. to the sell-off side during the live tonight. I think it'll take the rest of the market with it. Just depends on how deep the retracement's going to be. But it's just a matter of time. The real trick is, can price break through all of this support from previous price action? And there's a lot of it. Right now, price is trapped right in this area. At any rate, we have less than 1 minute left to the half of the hour. It's going to take TradingView about 2 to 3 minutes to go through all of the assets that they have for trade on the 15-minute, the 1 minute, the 30-minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily time frames, and then spit out our opportunities for the 2:30 time frame. We'll know in about 18 seconds. All right, it's not 2:30 in the morning. Already starting to see the drop of Bitcoin. This may be a bit of a weird trading session, considering the fact that we have major news tomorrow. So even though it's Monday and things tend to hit the higher or the low of the day or of the week, barring something very, very strange in the news today, should see consolidation across most pairs. The market does not like uncertainty. And while we have forecasts of where these news items may go, we may get some surprises, particularly in Europe. Yeah, so we have a break of that fair value gap for Bitcoin versus Tether. Got two different calls. It looks like we got Euro versus Hong Kong dollar, which is an exotic trade, and Euro versus US dollar. Let's take a look at those. All right, we have hit stop loss on Euro versus Hong Kong dollar. We will not be re-entering that particular pair. We have stop loss hit on Euro versus US dollar. We won't be re-entering that particular pair just yet. I think we're going to get a pretty massive rebound here in a second. And we have stop loss hit on United States dollar versus Danish krone. Again, I believe that we're going to get a reversal here in a second. We'll wait until it crest off and give us a re-entry. Let's get back to Bitcoin versus Tether. So we're about the 50% point with a fair value gap for Bitcoin versus Tether as price continues to drop. We're down about 300 points since we started looking at this. Our checkpoint is just above 118,000. And it looks like we have a call on Great British Pound Sterling versus the Australian dollar. We did not enter this particular trade. It did hit stop loss. So it doesn't look like we're going to get any additional calls for 2:30. Our next opportunity to enter the market will be at 2:45 in the morning. It's a little under 11 minutes from now. And just like that, we're down another 400 points from when we started tracking Bitcoin versus Tether to just above 118,800. As I mentioned before, this is a pretty significant block of fair value gap. It's trying to break through it. Seems like one right after another, actually. If it happens to do so, we should get some acceleration sell off of Bitcoin. If we do get lucky, we get a sell off of a couple of thousand points today, which should give us a fairly meaty possible buy opportunity because long term Bitcoin is on an uptrend. Could give us an outside chance at 2 million pips for the month if we can pick up a couple of 100,000 pips on Bitcoin. I do think that's unlikely. Just too much major news this week. It's going to scare people off from really moving. At least until Wednesday afternoon when the United States dollar announces its short-term interest rate for the U.S. Federal Reserve. It does look like we have some retracement of price to the buy side on Bitcoin, which has reestablished the fair value gap. So price hovering between the bottom here and the top here. We'll see if that holds. I don't think that it will, though. At least on the 15-minute, the sellers are in complete control of the market right now. Seems like just a matter of time. Got just under 6 minutes left to go to 2:45 in the morning. I don't know if you guys see this, but it feels like time is dragging on a little bit this morning. At least it certainly feels that way. Okay, YM1 is our current most profitable trade. That's a future. We're going to take a look at that real quick. Looks like we've got consolidation on the price. That should continue to go up over time. This on the US 30. All right. Got some calls on the futures market. And continuing the trend we saw on several euro pairs. This was on euro versus Hong Kong dollar and euro versus USD. If it hit stop loss on E71, we have a hit stop loss on M6E1. And we hit a stop loss on 6E1. We'll see whether or not we get that re-entry to the market. That's some pretty unhealthy price action. Normally that means we're going to get a nice re-entry. A little over 2 minutes left to go to 2:45 in the morning. Doesn't seem to be a lot of movement in cryptocurrency. Let's take a look at the US dollar index. We definitely have a rally on the US dollar. Which also tends to mean that we have weakness in tether. And we do. So short-term rally on the US dollar, which means the US dollar is increasing in strength. Weakness in tether means we should see bullish action on cryptocurrency. But what we're seeing instead is a sell-off of Bitcoin. So it's running counter to the market right now. We'll see if that trend continues. All right, got about 30 seconds left to 2:45 in the morning. It is going to take TradingView about 2 to 3 minutes to get through all of the signals on the time frames that we do call on to determine whether or not we have valid buy or sell opportunities to enter the market. It's now 2:45. Let's see what we get. We do know that we can expect a reversal on the euro sometime this morning. Just a matter of when it happens. And if I had to venture to guess, the reason the US dollar is rallying versus the euro is the announcement of the trade deal between the United States of America and the European Union, which favors the United States. If I remember the clipping of the article I read earlier, it's a tariff deal which provides us with direct access to an additional $705 billion in extra tax incentives. It's a fairly sizable concession from the European Union and the European Central Bank. Not that they really had any viable choice. The United States is their largest market partner. Two minutes in, nothing yet, but another half a minute. And I think we'll know we won't get anything here for the 2:45 frame. Next opportunity to enter the market will be at 3 a.m. sharp, the top of the hour. So in the relatively quiet session for the night, we do have 3 signal calls, which isn't bad for a Monday. On non-farm payroll rate, which is the week with the most major news in the course of a month, and ahead of major news offerings on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning. So any news we get will probably be geopolitical in nature. It definitely won't be economic. It looks like we have a complete standstill for the current 15-minute time frame. Nothing's really moving at all. A little under 11 minutes left to go. It's the top of the hour. 9 minutes left to go to 3 a.m. Approaching 1 minute left to the top of the hour, 3 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's now 3 a.m. We'll see whether or not we get any additional action here. Looks like we've fallen into a little bit of a malaise, complete non-movement on the cryptocurrency market. Very little movement on Forex as well. All right, we have a rebreak of the fair value gap we were looking at earlier. Let's see if we get a continued sell-off of Bitcoin. We're 3 minutes in. Does not look like we're going to get anything extra in the crypto market and the foreign exchange market. We do get updates to futures in about 7 minutes. We'll see if we get anything there. Next time frame to enter the market will be about 3:15 Central Standard Time. It's a little under 12 minutes from now. little over 9 minutes to go to 3:15. Interesting. About 6 minutes left to go to 3:15. And it looks like we've got some action in the futures market. No, it's actually Forex. Let's see what we got. Got at least the original signal. Stop loss hit on the 30-minute on Australian dollar versus Japanese yen. We'll check the JXY to see whether or not we're getting sell-off on that particular asset. The same thing on the 15-minute. Let's take a look at the JXY. So consolidation, but definitely a downtrend on the 15-minute with very heavy resistance for price going back up. Let's go up in time frame. So it's consolidated on higher time frames with a short-term retraction for today. So See how things add itself out. That is a massive fair value gap to open the day. The dollar's continuing to rally, but it is still on a long-term downtrend. So if this does reverse and we get a sell-off of the US dollar, it's going to trigger a strength in Tether, which will cause a sell-off of the crypto market. That's not a lot of support for it to break through if it does decide to take a turn to the south. We do have a reversal candle in the current 15-minute time frame. Bitcoin basically has not moved for the last half hour. We'll see what we end up getting. A little less than 3 minutes left to 3:15 in the morning. Our next time frame to enter the market on possible buy and sell opportunities. All right, coming up on a little less than 1 minute left to go to 3:15 in the morning. All right, it's now 3:15. Again, it's going to take trading view about 3 minutes to go through all the trades that we have on both the 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily time frames. We should know whether or not we're going to get any opportunities at 3:15, around 3:18 in the morning. Mhm. We've got nothing for the 3:15 time frame. Next opportunity for us to enter the market will be at 3:30 in the morning, the half of the hour, a little under 12 minutes from now. Something like we're just going to have a very slow market this morning with the 3 trade opportunities that we had earlier. And I always expect consolidation ahead of major news, and it is non-farm payroll week, so the volatility is crazy. Starting on Tuesday, we should start to see fireworks. May get a few surprises though. Wow. Nice. Yikes. 72 million in net inflows from 2.39 billion. Hmm. Be interesting to see if we at least get a break of the low of the day during the live tonight, but it just does not seem like price wants to move right now. It's 3 consecutive candles of virtually no movement or or net movement rather. Eight minutes left to go to 3:30 in the morning, half of the hour. Coming up on 4 minutes left to go to 3:30 in the morning, the half of the hour. About 2 minutes left to go to 2:30, to 3:30 rather. All right, here we go. 3:30 in the morning. Again, it's going to take about 3 minutes for TradingView to get through all of the analysis that we have. It does appear we have a possible buy opportunity on CRV versus Tether. Let's take a look at that. All right, so this is a 30-minute confirmation buy on CRV versus Tether. It's going to be a buy to 1.0949. It's going to be a long from current price. Shorten up that stop just a wee bit. And CRV USDT is a crypto perpetual trade. You'll find this pair on liquid brokers. CRV USTD 30-minute confirmation, market execution buy. Risk reward ratio of 2.90. Take profit is 1.0949. It's going to be for 627 pips. Stop loss is 1.0106. It's going to be for 216 pips. Entry price is 1.0322. Here's your next call of the night. CRV USDT. That's CRV versus Tether. 30-minute confirmation. Market execution buy. Entry price is 1.0322. Stop loss is 1.0106 for 216 pips. Take profit is 1.0949 for 627 pips. And a risk reward ratio of 2.90. minutes in, so probably done with signals for the 3:30 time frame, with the exception of possible futures in about 6 minutes. A little under 11 minutes left to go to 3:45 a.m. Central Standard Time, the quarter of the hour. Very close to testing a break of the low for the day for Bitcoin. Let's see if we get there. The market overall does seem to be weakening a little bit. So no move, real movement on USDT versus US dollar. We have a small weakening of the rally of the US dollar. The price is a consolidation in 15 minutes. And it just opened a fair value gap to the buy side. So we may get a continued rally of the US dollar on the strength of the signage of a trade deal between the United States and the European Union. Interesting stuff. I don't think it's going to stay up here, though. It's a downtrend on the 1 hour. I don't know. Could rally all the way up here. That would trigger a buy rally in the crypto market, though. It does look like long term, US dollars in a downtrend. Weaker US dollar means a stronger tether, which means long term, indicating a sell off of the crypto market. So if you're in any buys, you might want to do that on a short term basis until the US dollar stabilizes. All right, so we should possibly get some updates in the futures market in about 2 minutes. I doubt it, though. At least pre-New York Stock Exchange open, which is at 7:30 Central Standard Time this morning. Then under 6 minutes left to go to the quarter of the hour, 3:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. Looks like we just hit an all-time high on Binance Forum. Approaching 1 minute left at 3:45 in the morning, the quarter of the hour. Now 3:45. Again, it's going to take about 2 to 3 minutes for trading view to get through all the different time frames on the assets that we do trade. We do have one more ticker for tonight at 4 a.m. Central Standard Time. We don't have any additional trades by then. We'll call it a night and reconvene for 2 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. Again, I am your host, the Pit Messiah, for the Quiet Storm Live Training Session for July the 28th, 2025. If you have found value in the live, I do encourage you to subscribe to the channel, to like the video, and to turn on notifications to keep abreast of when I do go live in the market. The Quiet Storm Live Trading Sessions are held every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time. That is the opening bell of the London Stock Exchange. Also, again, welcome tonight for our audience on both Instagram and Huya, the first time that we have live streamed to multiple different platforms. I may cycle through the platforms as we go along, but right now we'll be live streaming to both YouTube, Instagram, and Huya. Also, if you haven't noticed, I believe earlier today, we finally launched the podcast version of The Quiet Storm. All of those episodes are now available in audio across all the previous 24 episodes. That will also include tonight's live after it concludes for this evening. All right, it's now 3:48, so it doesn't look like we'll get any other opportunities for the 3:45 timeline for cryptos, for Forex currency, for indices and commodities. Futures will pop off in about 7 minutes from now. We'll see if we get any opportunities there. I did not anticipate that, though. Hmm. 8 minutes left to go to the top of the hour. 4 a.m. Central Standard Time. Been up on 5 minutes left to go to the top of the hour. 4 a.m. Central Standard Time. With 1 minute left. At the top of the hour, 4 a.m. Central Standard Time. Again, it's going to take TradingView about 2 to 3 minutes to go through all of the different scenarios and the different time frames that we have. If it doesn't give us anything, we'll call it a night. We appear to have the formation of a new fair value gap above current price on Bitcoin versus Tether. So we're certainly entering into a prolonged period of consolidation between these two areas. I don't think that fair value gap is going to hold pretty thin. It's now 4 a.m. Central Standard Time. Let's see what we end up getting. Right a minute in, have nothing. Minutes in, also nothing. All right. Looks like we're not going to get anything for the rest of the morning. And we're done. I will see you guys at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time sharp tomorrow morning. Cheers.